So I've taken the time to let you into my world a little bit, and I've shared with you the absolute forgiveness and the notice of appointment. And the reason I'm sharing these things with you is so you can help you ascend to the mind and understand equity. So this is my court case where they were trying to give me 10 years in prison for resisting arrest, assault on an officer, possession of concealed firearm, yada, 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 all these stupid charges, right? And so I just want to show you some of the things that were executed during this court proceeding. One was a letter rogatory for relief that I read to you not too long ago, okay? Two, the FOIA request, the common law FOIA request for all the alleged judges' information and intel that he's supposed to have. Memorandum of law on sovereignty of the people. All right, this goes back to the Bible, ladies and gentlemen, supported by all these case laws and the Constitution. All right, this is the common law copyright, and actually, it's a common law copyright, but this is actually what Hillary and Bill Clinton used. All right, I dug it up, took some time, found it. I believe it's one of the reasons they're not in jail right now, to be honest with you. Because it covers their retina, their voice, any recordings of their voice, anything that could possibly be used against them, including their own testimony, is barred from being used unless they agree to it, period. And the USPTO is a bad mamma jamma, the United States Patent and Trademark Office. That's what everything is. This is what piqued my interest about Ken Doss and what he was doing, because I already studied MERS about 2 years ago and realized that they have somehow acquired a power of attorney over you. This is what an alleged warrant looks like. It's not a warrant. We're missing the court seal. We're missing a legible signature from an alleged judge. This is not a warrant, but this is what they tried to send to me to allege that they had a warrant. This at best is a capias, okay? I haven't seen a true warrant yet, although I know what it takes to meet all the elements and requirements of a true warrant. This falls significantly short. One, it's a piece of paper, which one piece of paper will never suffice for a warrant. You also need an affidavit in support of the warrant, okay, of an injured party, somebody claiming harm, injury, damage, or loss. So this is not a warrant, ladies and gentlemen, even though it says bench warrant, yada, yada, yada. It's not a warrant. This is the letter that I received from the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission, okay, after I had completed the documents that I'm about to show you coming up. Everything is identity theft. All these people, what they're doing is stealing your identity, okay? They're stealing your rights, titles, interest, res, baggage, and effects, unbeknownst to you, because you don't know any better. You don't realize that that name is yours. You're first in time, first in line. It was given to you by the divine through your mother and father who blessed it upon you, all right? And remember, when they ask, what do I have for surety? Well, you have the blood of Jesus Christ that was shed for all mankind as surety. If you need to ask, and if you need to know, it's the blood of Jesus Christ that is surety for all debts, okay? It's spiritual. So this was October 31st, 2018. They wrote to me. Notice how they proper uppercase, lowercase. Reference, the FTC reference number is 101, yada, yada, yada. It says, Dear Derek Gonzalez, thank you for contacting the Federal Trade Commission, FTC. The FTC has been directed by Congress to act in the interest of all consumers to prevent fraudulent, deceptive, and unfair business practices in the marketplace. Ladies and gentlemen, everything is intercourse. Everything is intercourse. Contacts from consumer and businesses are very important to our work, as they are often the first indication of a problem in the marketplace and may provide the initial evidence to begin an investigation. While the FTC is not able to intervene in individual disputes, the information you have provided has been recorded in our secure online database, which is used by thousands of civil and criminal law enforcement authorities worldwide. They've now been put on notice. This database enables law enforcement agencies to identify questionable business practices that may lead to investigations and prosecution. In addition, our attorneys and investigators regularly review the complaint database to look for law enforcement targets, evaluate the need for consumer education, and make policy recommendations. Your letter has been added to our database for that purpose. As a consumer, you have additional alternatives for corrective action. This includes directly contacting the company in dispute, filing a complaint with your state attorney general office Consumer Protection Division, and obtaining legal assistance. Thank you for providing information that may be used to develop or support the FTC enforcement initiatives. You can find free education material on a variety of consumer topics, press releases, and other important information on our website, okay? www.ftc.gov. Sincerely, Consumer Response Center. What I don't like about this is nobody put their wedding signature there. I want a letter from the CFO, CEO, whatever it is, headquarters, management. I want an autograph. Right now, this really means jack diddly, except for the fact that I have proof they received something and they sent something back to me. But I don't have anything that's signed with a wedding signature where I can fix the liability to somebody. All right? That's important to know. When you get these letters and they're blank like this, they really hold no value because there's no signator. I got that after I finished this, and I'm about to show it to you, and this. This is my affidavit of life. After 1666, you're responsible for reporting to these people and letting them know that you're alive and well. Okay, affidavit of life. I, Derek Chaton, of the House of Gonzalez, affiant, being over the age of 18 years, competent to witness, does state for the public record the following. That the public record on file with the Office of the Registrar of the State of Arizona, located at the state capitol, Phoenix, Arizona, shows that the entity known as Derek Chaton Gonzalez, which this should be all capital letters, took the first breath of life on the 10th day of the month of June in the year of 1984, 6/10/1984, and that as of the date of this affidavit of life, the entity known as Derek Chaton Gonzalez is still alive and breathing. And since the 10th day of the month of June in the year of 2002, June 10th, 2002, has not surrendered nor abandoned any claim of life, nor of any and all claims of estate, to include but not limited to Derek Chaton Gonzalez, the nom de guerre, the entity, and the attachments, Exhibit A and B, to this affidavit are considered as points and authorities of law. And further, affiant saith not, I, Derek Chaton, of the House of Gonzalez, do affirm that I have read the above affidavit and do know the contents to be true, correct, complete, and not misleading, the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. All right? This was done October 5th, 2018. See my seal. That's actually a blood thumbprint covered with tape. That's a blood covenant, a blood contract. There's my seal. You can see where I used the silver dollar to make the impression. My thumbprint in the middle, and then my gold signature on top of it. My seal. And then my witnesses, of course. All right, same thing. We, the undersigned witnesses, attest that we individually and collectively know the entity known as Derek Chaton Gonzalez to be alive and breathing, and that he is not lost beyond the sea, but walks among us upon the land, and that we did witness him affix his autograph to the above affidavit of life, and also to place his right thumbprint in his own blood upon this document. Exhibit A, Corpus Juris Secundum, Section 16, page 892, facts of death. Death of a person on whose estate administration is sought is a jurisdiction requisite. And while the presumption of death arising from absence may present a prima facie case sufficient to warrant a grant of administration, yet if it is subsequently develops that such person was in fact alive, the administration is void. While it is true that the presumption of death arising from a person absence unheard from for a considerable length of time, see Death Section 6, may present a prima facie case sufficient to warrant a grant of administration on his estate, the arising of such presumption does not take the case out of the operation of the general rule on the subject, and if it is made to appear that the person was in fact alive at the time of such administration was granted, the administration is absolutely void. Although that payment to an administration of an absentee who is not in fact dead is no defense against the absentee or his legal representative, nor are costs and disbursements incurred by such administration a legal charge against the absentee or his property. But where the administrator has paid debts of the absentee, he is subrogated to the rights of the creditors whom he has paid. It has been considered, however, that the invalidity of the administration does not relate back, but that it is invalid only the time when the presumption of death is rebutted. B. This is the Exhibit B. Cestui Que Vie Act of 1666, Chapter 11, an act for redress of inconveniences by want of proof of the decease of person beyond the sea or absenting themselves, upon whose lives estate do depend. I think that's supposed to say do depend. Back in 1666, they wrote things very, very differently. Again, we don't know how to read or write. The Queen of England said it in like 1998. She was going to take the United States back because we're all illiterate and incompetent and we don't know how to read and write. And for all intents and purposes, she's correct. Annotation. Anyway, you can go look up this document. I'm not going to read through the whole thing. Because it's 14 pages long. Here's the Cestui Que Vie Act of 1540 that you guys hear me keep talking about. The Cestui Que Vie Act of 1302, 1540, 1455. I've got them all here, ladies and gentlemen. This was all submitted into the court record. Okay? This is what 50, this got sent off to 56 locations, including the Vatican, the Queen of England, Parliament, the Attorney General, Secretary of State, Governor for the state that I was currently in at the time, the Attorney General, Secretary of State, Governor for the state that I was alleged to be born on. It also got sent to the Federal Secretary of State, which is the Chief of Foreign Affairs. It got sent to the DOJ, the DOD, the Secret Service. This paperwork, ladies and gentlemen, holds a lot of weight. But it holds no merit if you don't know what it is. Here's Queen Elizabeth II of Windsor. She got the notice. And there's my thumbprint, my visage. All right. All that stuff you don't really need to see. All that stuff really doesn't matter. And there's the cat's meow. Dink. Put on the record. You guys want to see these documents, you call down to Valley County. They're public record. They're filed on the miscellaneous record. And I had a third-party intervener file them for me. All right? So I've got somebody who can testify to the fact that the documents, I put him in a position of trustee to file these documents while I was Nebraska's favorite fugitive. Because I had to have somebody go in and file these documents for me. I couldn't do it myself. So they were filed November 2018, 2 o'clock, 2:45 p.m. It's book 72, page 234 of the miscellaneous, Paul Michiel being the clerk for Valley County. And it's there. It cost me $88 to file all this onto the record. All right? Now, let's go here. The next thing is the DBA. Some people are against it, some people are for it, but in order to be engaged in commerce, you have to have a game piece. And your game piece, much like on the Monopoly board, is going to be your DBA. And I have a fee schedule here, and this was just a generous fee schedule. I was being so polite with this because my new fee schedule is absolutely nasty. Very, very volatile and not nice because I don't want to be played with. I'm not a field mouse. You're not just going to play with me and get away with it. So this is my fee schedule, all right? I'm an attorney in fact, a private attorney general. I know the law. I abide by the law. I'm a lawful man. Bringing action against me without indemnifying a case grants me the ability to make an assessment on your property, your assets, your easements, and everything else to ensure that I can be made whole again. And I absolutely will. I do not want to be played with. You leave me alone, I'll leave you alone. It's that simple. So, I claim here all my signatures, trademark, service mark, every which way you can write it, spell it, all deviations. For all intents and purposes, if you're connecting this name with a social security number, birth certificate number, or anything else of that sort, and I find out, I'm coming for you. Any and all images, all right? These are mine, not anybody else's. There is a fee schedule attached to these. If you take a photograph of me and you're law enforcement and you try and put me up against the wall to book me in and you want my fingerprints, handprints, footprints, anything of that nature, it comes at a premium and is filed in Valley County on the record. And it's all right here. And again, this is a very nice, simple, eloquent fee schedule, but it's a little light considering the FRN has lost 97% of its buying power. And they don't have gold. So there's my footprint. That was a real humdinger. Covering your feet with ink. There's my palm print, handprint, fingerprints, right and left. All this is filed. And again, filed this one in November. Paid $82. Again, I had a third-party intervener file that for me. So I have a witness that these were filed. Not only is it registered and logged, but it's there. There's my absolute letter of forgiveness, filed on the miscellaneous court record. Again, filed by a third-party intervener. As a trustee, I bestowed upon him the ability to file these for me. And he took on the task and became my trustee for the moment with a limited power. And he went and executed these for me. There's my gold signature, King's Etiquette in gold, right thumbprint, the seal, House of Gonzalez, the silver dollar with the wood block to create the upraised impression, and it's House of Gonzalez in gold. That's my seal. The nice thing about being the author is I'm the authority. I can create more of these at any time. And this is how I executed these. And again, this one was filed in November. It was a $16 fee. And again, I bestowed that privilege as trustee to Jake to file this for me. So the power and knowledge is superior and supreme to all. If you know who you are, you can protect yourself, your assets, and your property. And believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, the first bit of property you have is your voice, your retina, your DNA, your stem cells, the placenta that was left over, the umbilical cord, okay? All these things, rights, titles, interest, baggage, res, effects, okay? Vitiage, these are all yours. Your signature is your property. If they're foreclosing on your house, you want your property back. They want something they perceive to be their property, give it to them. But on the condition that they're going to make you whole once more, which means if they monetized your notes, if they took your name and they sold it, if they used your good name without your consent, if they somehow swindle the deal where they have limited power of attorney to convert your property for profit without cutting you in on it, you want it back. It's that simple. Anybody using your name, your stuff, your information is participating in identity theft. Period. That's what it is. It's identity theft. And if this letter from the FTC doesn't prove it, I don't know what will. Call the IRS. They'll tell you all day long, yes, it runs rampant. We're very much aware of it. But until the American people stand up, file the right documentation, and let us know who they are, there is nothing we can do about it. They know about it, ladies and gentlemen. The IRS is very keen on the fact of what the de facto government is doing with your material, your information, your signatures, without your authorization. They know that they're monetizing your good name and not paying taxes on it. So with that, I hope this helped you out. This was just a little bit of my journey through a court system, which I prevailed. And you can find all of this I have read out loud on Facebook. If you go back through the videos, you can see this all right? It's not a secret. I'm not hiding it from anybody. But none of this will work if you don't know who you are. If you don't know who you are and you go to that court and the judge says, do you understand? And you go, yes, master. Yes, master. I do whatever you like, boss. You just tell me. You've been hoodwinked. You've been had, and you're screwed. If you don't know how to communicate, this paperwork will do you no good at all. None. So I got people that I've given paperwork to before, and I stopped giving paperwork out because they failed, and then they wanted to blame me. And I said, well, did you read the documents? Well, yeah, I read the documents. And I start reading the document to them, and I go, look, it says right here, if they can't prove their standing, that this case is dismissed. Non pro tunc. It's over. Did you tell them that? Well, they asked me what I'd like to do. And what did you tell them? Well, I told them, I just can't do anything right now. So the judge recommended that, we have another hearing. Good gravy. You just reconsented because you didn't read the paperwork, and somehow you want to blame me for your inadequacy. That's horrible. Read the documents. Know who you are. Learn this shit. Freedom is not free. It never has been. It never will be. From the beginning of time, men has always tried the Lord over other men. You either know who you are and you can effectively put your foot up somebody's ass, or you can't. Those are the facts. So learn this stuff, all right? I give it freely to everybody. All you have to do is apply yourself and read that Bible. Read that Bible. I don't care if you're Hindu, Buddhist, a shaman. I don't care what you are. Read that Bible because it's an original book of trust. It's how the Americas operate. It's how Australia operates. It's how New Zealand operates. All right, anything that's part of England, which I can assure you, the North American continent was conquered by England and still belongs to Britain. Period. Period. Your income tax goes directly to the IMF, which is owned and operated by the Queen of England. Period. Don't believe me? Go look it up. Civil War didn't free you from the Brits. The 1776 war didn't free you from the Brits. None of that shit freed you at all. Freedom is found within, knowing who you are, knowing who the Creator is, knowing that He lives within you, and that's what makes you so damn powerful. You have the power to create, you have the power to destroy, you have the power to contract at will, you have the power to tell them to go fly a kite anytime you wish. For we, the people, we as men created government. Government was instituted amongst men for our benefit. But only if you know who you are. Because if you don't know who you are, how quickly you'll become a servant, a slave. Thanks for joining me.